Alright guys, Team Junkyard Dog here today, and welcome back to our channel. We're going to start out by thanking Palm Beach Bots, Repeat Robotics, and Polymaker for helping make our combat robotic dreams come true. Now this first match is Baby Beater versus Fais. Of course, Baby Beater is piloted by Andy of the all-famous Palm Beach Bots, and right away he punched us in the teeth. Carter is a little bit conservative when he comes out with the weapon. He likes to keep it dialed down to see how slow he can spin it and still win weapon on weapon. That's one of our argument points. I tell him to come out full blast and then turn it down. He likes to come out slow and turn it up. Whatever. It works out for him. He's doing quite well. But it doesn't take Carter with that tangent drive and that hub motor to slowly start taking over this fight. Andy has a very dangerous robot with Baby Beater. Baby Beater is a 4S beater bar. Very powerful little bot. But we're running the hub motor with the tangent drives, all from Repeat, of course. And you can see that he starts to turn it his way, and then he gets stuck. And so I said, Carter, why didn't you call for an unstick? Carter says, because I wanted to test out my side armor. I said, okay then. And it worked out. Right there was a big mega hit. We actually emptied the insides of the robot out, the battery and everything became exposed. But, and Carter was quite proud of himself, of course, but I think Baby Beater's weapon destroyed himself. Now this is Clown. Clown is driven by Basil, one of our good friends. And Basil is conservative with her weapon as well. I'm sure Ari is over there screaming at her to crank her weapon up, but she gets it going. At first we thought her weapon was out right here. On that first big hit we did take out drive on one side, so she is limping on one side, but you can see her weapon is still spinning, and I'm telling Carter, don't just avoid the weapon, we don't need to take any risk. But because Carter designed and built this robot all himself, he did every single little bitty piece of it. I had nothing to do with this robot. He wanted to test it out and try to find some weaknesses. So on that last exchange, we did manage to take the weapon out. So at this point, Basil is down to one wheel. And so Carter gently pushes her into the pit, and we go for the countdown. Fais is now 2-0 in his debut. Well, his first official debut. He did compete before, but it didn't go so well, and he was only held together with hot glue. This is the first time he's actually completely put together. Now this bot is called Piece of Paper. Piece of Paper was a frustrating bot, and that's the way he designed it. It's literally not much thicker than a piece of paper, it seems. Even the scalar kits could not hit it because they were going over the top of it. It is such a low profile bot. Now, Piece of Paper's weapon is a lifter arm, and he can get that little weapon arm to grab you and to lift you up and to get pins on you and to self-right himself. And it's a very well-designed little bot. He did a great job on his ground game, making it difficult for us to get underneath him. And as you can tell from this match right here, that it's pretty back and forth. It would be really hard to judge at this point. And then Carter kind of pulls a little whoopsie-doo trying to get to the back of a Piece of Paper. And he does manage to do that coming up here in just 1 second. You'll see it when it happens. See, we do occasionally get underneath his forks, but not very often. And it's just a lot of back and forth here. We go up on top of him, he lifts us up, going for the pins, and then Carter got behind him, flipped him up, stuck him to the wall. And in most events that we do, if you put your opponent on the wall and they can't get down, then they get counted out. But in this event, it was one unstick no matter how you got stuck, and so Piece of Paper calls for their unstick. And so they're going to pause the match, they're going to flip him over. They are going to put him upside down, which was kind of a curious choice, but it's not a big deal for Piece of Paper because you can see he just self-righted himself. And so Carter now has a leg up, so we feel, because he had him pinned and was getting counted, and then Carter sticks himself in the wall. So now Carter has to call for an unstick. So now we're back tied again, and we're going back to what we were doing. Piece of Paper's trying to get pins. We're trying to get behind Piece of Paper to get a hit on the only spot that we can touch, and that's in the back of the bot. And it's a very close match.
2, 1, that's the match. This one goes to the judges.
And then the match ends. it does go to judges. We don't know who won, but the win was given to Piece of Paper. So we are now 2-1, and now we have to fight Baby Beater in the losers bracket. Pretty funny that we sent him there, now we have to fight him there, but that's okay. You can see Carter, having practice against this bot, came out swinging from the go. He knew that Andy had a very powerful weapon, and they're just kind of going back and forth at this point. Andy is working through a few design issues since he's on the 4S, and he will get it figured out. Right there, he happened to land on top of our weapon, which split his top plate, and now Carter's in hot pursuit. And once again, we hit weapon on weapon, and his weapon clipped the front of his robot, slinging his top plate off and just basically gutting himself. So Carter is now 3-1. We have not taken any damage to this point. We have not had to repair one thing. The only thing that we've really had to do is charge the battery. Now guys, this is Cheesy Disaster, a very tough bot. It's driven by Seth. It's all TPU. It has the forward flipper. This originally started as a Team Witch Doctor design, and so we really knew that with the control bots that we had to show some type of dominance and do a little bit more than we did against Piece of Paper. Cheesy Disaster has a very sharp wedge on the front as well, and we are struggling with that front wedge a little bit. But we're going to continue trying. Seth is a great driver, and he's a formidable opponent, especially with this little bot right here. So we're going to see how we do against him. It's just a little bit of back and forth. He's trying to pin us. We're trying to get a hit on him. Nothing real decisive happening. We are experiencing a little bit of gyro with Fais, but that's to be expected with a big weapon that spins really fast. But overall, it's quite controllable. Carter did a very good job designing this bot. He's super proud that he did it on his own, and I had nothing to do with it. And this is where we turned the table. We punted them into the pit. They got out of the pit. Carter punched him right back in the pit, and now he's babysitting the edge. They're starting to count out Cheesy, and Cheesy is going to come out. So Carter punts him back in the pit. And this is the only positive showing that from the entire match that showed, dominance on one side or the other. And I really think that this is kind of what swayed it for us, was keeping him in the pit. There's multiple times like that. Because I really feel like if we hadn't done that we would have lost this match. Now I am spoiling it a little bit by letting you know we did win this match. It was a tough match. Driving against Seth is always a very good driver's battle. Carter's a great driver, and so is he, and it's always fun to watch these two go at it. So now I think we're at the point that we are now 4-1. We are doing quite well. Now we are going to be fighting in the grand final. This is to see who wins all the beans, and guess who we're fighting? Piece of Paper. So now we have fought Piece of Paper. What we did this time that was a little bit different is we put some heat on our forks and put a little more downforce on them. We heated up the tips of them and pressed them against the table to make them more flat, so we would have a better chance of getting underneath Piece of Paper. I think from the way that Piece of Paper's drive was looking in this match that he was a little worse for wear. I think the matches throughout the day were piling up on him a little because he did seem to have less mobility in this match than he did in the previous one. But and I'm not saying that anything bad about the bot. That's the only thing I can think that happened, because we were able to get behind him way more often. And Piece of Paper, if you're watching this, please feel free to share your comments on what you think and what you think happened in the fight. This one wasn't as close as the first match. We did get behind him. You can see that his top plate is starting to lift up. That was a solid hit that Carter just landed on Piece of Paper. If we can pull this match off, this is Fais' first true event, and would be the first time that we ever brought a new bot to an event and took first place, as far as I can remember anyway. But as you can see, they're just kind of going back and forth. What Carter's doing this time is he's learned with the control bots that when he gets up on the front, he's reversing out. and getting away from him before they can get the pin and get the lift on him. And I think with the slower drive of piece of paper, you can see how more often he is getting to the back. And now he's got him pinned up, grinding his chassis, and he's going to deliver a nice little shot right here, which removes the back plate off of the robot. So now we know that at this point it's ours to lose. He just has to keep the bot running and not do anything dumb. So let's see if Carter can pull it off.
That's the match.
And there you go, the match is over. Let's see how the judges call this match.
And champion by unanimous decision is Fais.
Yeah, baby. Carter's super excited. Fais got first at Infinitycon in Tallahassee. What a great event it was, guys. We had a ton of fun. We love hanging out with our friends. We met some really cool new people as well. We even got to take a picture with Andy. How sweet was that? Guys, thank you so much for watching. Do come back.